Hey there, so today we're doing a review of this bag, the Osprey Daylite Carry-On Travel Pack 35 liter. Here at Nomads Nation, we've been reviewing EDC and travel gear for the last 7 years. And in this video, I'm gonna show you everything that you need to know about this bag to decide if it's for you. I'm gonna show you exactly what fits in the bag. We're gonna double check its advertised capacity, and I'm gonna give you my brutally honest pros and cons and overall scores so you can know if this bag is worth the price or not. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of the video, because there I'll make 2 alternative travel bag suggestions in case you're not quite feeling the Daylite 35. Let's talk about the gist of the Osprey Daylite Carry-On Travel Pack 35. Some quick brand background. Osprey, in my opinion, is probably bang for your buck, the best travel backpack brand in the world. Doesn't mean they're the sexiest, doesn't mean they're the coolest, but just like in terms of value and expertise and what you're getting, it's so hard to beat Osprey. But having said that, their bags are definitely not perfect. So let's talk about some of the top features of the Daylite 35. We've got that old school hiker kind of backpacker silhouette, but definitely modernized a little bit. Quick access front pocket here. An admin pocket with a bit of organization at the top. 2 external water bottle holders. Suitcase style clamshell opening with a pretty minimalist main compartment. We got a separate laptop compartment in the back. The ability to stow away the shoulder straps. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like and what the benefit is 3 chapters from now. And a pretty comfy harness system that features Osprey's signature technology. See the AirScape right there? And we'll talk about just how comfortable that is, or if it's a marketing gimmick as well 3 chapters from now. Now, should be noted, this is the Daylite 35, which is part of the Daylite family, of which the iconic 26+6 is a part of as well. But while they're a part of the same family, like any siblings, they're similar but not identical. Although we do have a lot of the same features, I think the biggest thing that's different about these bags that you need to be aware of is that this is 35 liters, allegedly. We'll check that in a second. And the 26+6, as the name indicates, can expand from a smaller 26 liters to a larger 32 liters. But that's not really accurate because we double check advertised capacity here at Nomads Nation with our factory grade measurement system. And when we double checked the 26+6, it was more like a 22+5. So will the 35 liter have the capacity it advertises? Let's find out. Good looks, good looks. Now, measuring the capacity of a bag is a bit more of an art than it is a science. But for this bag, we're only gonna measure the main compartment, which you can see is filled with our factory grade measurement balls. All these guys right here. And the reason we're only gonna do the main compartment is you can see these other sections don't have any volume to themselves. You might get flat things in there, but when this main compartment is fully packed out, there's no real other packing space in other parts of the bag. There is for small things, but it's not gonna affect the overall volume capacity measurement. Before we do that, let's check the bag's dimensions. We got a height of 19 inches, a width of 12 inches, and a fully packed out base depth of around 8.5 inches. Volume check time. All right, so we got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 liters, just right under, which I think gets us basically at 35 liters. Because if you count the 2 side pockets, front pockets, laptop compartment, this bag is like 35 liters on the dot. Osprey claims this bag weighs 2 pounds, which if so, is astonishingly amazing. And yeah, I'm getting 2 pounds on scale number 1 and verified again, 2 pounds on scale number 2, which in my opinion is one of the top selling points of this bag. I mean, that's an incredible volume to weight ratio. Typically on like modern travel bags, a 35 liter bag, if it's not too heavy, will be like 3.5 pounds. Usually it's like a 1-to-1 ratio, kind of, from that perspective. So the fact that we're at 35 liters on the dot, or getting 2 pounds on the dot, is amazing, assuming the bag is comfortable. Doesn't matter how light it is if the shoulder straps and the back panels suck. We'll talk about that soon. As of recording, the 35 liter version of the Daylite comes in 4 color options, including, where is it? The Rainbow Nightmare Clown color that the 26+6 that we originally reviewed comes in. I do not like this color combination. I'm a bit more of a fan of the subtle, discreet black look. Which one do you like? Nightmare of a clown or modern black subtle aesthetic? Let me know what you think in the comments below. This is the Daylite 35 when it's empty. And here you can see it fully packed out and worn on the Nomads Nation team. All Osprey products are packed by their lifetime warranty, and it is, without a doubt, one of the greatest warranties in the world, not just for the world of bags, but just in general. Just Google it. Trust, like the stories are amazing, but should be noted, that warranty will vary from country to country. So you also might want to check like for your particular country, how good the Osprey lifetime warranty actually is. And for all that, this bag runs around 130 USD. Now that price point is gonna be our North Star moving forward, right? That gives us context and let us know if the bag is worth the price. But I gotta let you know that if at any point during this review, you're thinking about making a purchase or you wanna find out more information, we highly suggest doing so with the first link in the description below. Reason being, that link makes sure that you get the best price, and we oftentimes have discount codes. But also that link helps support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel and team so we can keep making the best gear reviews on the web. Thank you very much. All right, let's talk about the front of the Osprey Daylite Carry-On Travel Pack 35. While I'm a huge fan of Osprey, the first thing that I will absolutely admit that isn't great about Osprey is their aesthetic. I mean, I will give them props. They've come a long way. They've really modernized their look over the years. They kind of had like that 70s, like hippie, I smoke joints in the back of pickup trucks while I'm hitchhiking vibe. And there's nothing wrong with hippie, I smoke joints in the back of pickup trucks while I'm hitchhiking vibes. I'm totally down for that. But like, I don't know, it's not always the bag that I wanna wear. And Osprey has, over the years, modernized their logo, modernized their silhouettes, and their fabrics. And this fabric is a Blue Sign approved 300D polyester. And I love that fabric choice because it's like Osprey knows what's up. A lot of these modern bag companies, they're like throwing 1000D Cordura on travel bags and 1500D nylons. And don't get me wrong, time and a place. The bigger the number, the thicker the fabric. And the thicker the fabric, the more durable it is, particularly from abrasion, like cuts and scratches. But honestly, these modern fabrics, they don't have to be so thick. This 300D polyester is gonna last the test of time, and it keeps the bag so lightweight because it's thinner. And polyester actually does an incredible job by itself of being water repellent. Like I said, trust in Osprey. They know what they're doing. Or do they? Because I do think the logo, location, and the Daylite loudest on the bottom right there, a little overkill. On the front, we got a couple of lash points, 2 at the bottom, 2 at the top if you wanna clip things on externally to the outside of your bag. Not something that I use myself. And then at the bottom here, we also have a handout. This is quite interesting. You don't see a lot of bags with a handle right here. Oftentimes you'll see it like at the bottom of the base of the bag. But this is just basically that handle for when you're on that crowded airplane and they're shooing you in and you're trying to hurry up and you put your bag in, you're like, crap, put my bag in backwards. But it doesn't matter because when you want to grab your bag from that bin, that handle has always got your back. It's a very useful thing. Always just giving you also like another point of leverage. It's well designed, well padded, very nice fabric. It's just a great handle. Let's talk about these front two pockets. First off, all these zippers should be YKK. And here's a great example of Osprey just stacking on the value. Lifetime warranty, amazing fabrics, expertise in backpack craftsmanship, and top-notch materials. YKK zippers are the best in the game, and what are they using for their hardware? If this says Duraflex, I can't tell. Maybe Osprey is making their hardware in-house these days then? Which I'm okay with that. I'd rather that than zippers in-house because you gotta outsource the zippers to the best. YKK makes the best zippers in the game. And the fact that Osprey adds them on this bag for the lower price point, it's just the value. When it comes to Osprey, it's always tough to beat. This front pocket, these are just reverse coil zippers, no PU coating, which means they're gonna be nice and smooth. Zipper pulls, kind of old school, just this little plastic pull right there, but it gets the job done. This front pocket here extends all the way down to this panel on the bag. The admin compartment is where you get a bit more organization as we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pockets, each using this slightly stretchy mesh. Basically, these 2 front pockets are great for your smaller bits of gear. Throw some meds, tissues. Got 3 pen pockets, but I've only got 2 pens. That's the one problem with pen pockets. They can't really, they're only designed for one thing. You can also put chapstick in them, but sometimes the chapstick gets all the way at the bottom and you got like the little push stance to get it out. We're gonna do my AirPods and a phone battery, a little charger, passport size notebook, clip my keys on the leash. Then in this pocket right here, throw a larger charger. Remember this pocket, you got some real estate that you're working with. Could be a good spot for a little travel notebook. And this pocket, actually both these pockets, both have a little bit of their own volume when you're just playing with them by themselves. That volume though becomes compromised when the entire bag is packed out. You'll see what I mean in a second. I think that should be about it. Let's move on to the next chapter and talk about the middle of the Osprey Daylite 35. Now this is a bag that has 2 external water bottle pockets, we'll test those out in a second once the bag is fully packed out. Gotta drink my tea first. Okay. All right, see you in a second. And then I'll also explain to you the use case of these things. I'm not a fan of those things. They call them like compression straps. Never my cup of tea. First, let's talk about the main compartment. We got these huge, I assume, number 10 YKKs. Yeah, absolutely. 10 RC. And they're lockable too, so you can put the zippers together and pop a lock on there. And it opens the bag suitcase style, right? So it's not classic clamshell from the bottom of the bag where it opens like this. You're going taco. It's taco style. We really only got the compression straps on the inside and then this pocket here. And compression straps on the inside of a bag I quite like, because what it does is it allows you to say, packing cube, I don't need you. Because in essence, these compression straps kind of offer the same functional benefit that this packing cube does. It allows you to compress your clothes a little bit more, right? Keep them nice and tidy, which then can help you cut down weight, because this bag is all about lightweight travel. And a packing cube, you know, it's not gonna be super heavy, but it definitely adds bulk, it adds weight. Or you can do both, like me. Strap the packing cube in here, get that in, beautiful. 35 liters, in my opinion, is the perfect size for travel, especially one bag travel. To be honest, it's a bit big for me actually for one bag travel. I started with like the 45 liter, and then I like the 35 liter because the 45 is so big. Now I'm at the point where I like a 26 to like 30 liter in that range. But if you carry a normal amount of stuff, 35 liter will be great. As you can see, you got all your clothes, but enough room to throw a dop kit, some shoes, and then in this part here, you can organize tech gear, underwear, socks. For me, I'm just gonna throw a book in there along with my backup tech pouch. Now this looks like it's gonna be pretty full. It might not close, but I think that it will. And this is going to be a testament of the lightweight materials. This is a 300D polyester. Now, if this is like a 1680D ballistic nylon, no offense, air, then closing this is gonna be a lot harder, because although it's still thin millimeter fabric, the 1680D has more MMs on it. And it just really makes all the difference in the world. Like, did you see how easy that was? How malleable the fabric is? It just kind of flows in the wind and does what it needs to do without fighting you. And that's the joy of a bag like this. Is it gonna get a scratch mark potentially easier? Possibly. That's the downside that you're, potentially risking. But God, I just love a light fabric like this, especially for a travel bag. It just works so well. Let's talk about something that I don't think works as well though, at least for me, which are these compression straps. You can see the goal is to kind of do that, and you can cinch down the depth of the bag ever so slightly. But honestly, at the most cinched, you're getting maybe it feels like an inch max, maybe half an inch, which I guess if you're flying on a super budget airline, maybe you need that. But on this side, it's not even a buckle. I mean, here, let's look. Full to fully cinched, I don't think we saved any depth there. If so, it was barely noticeable. So yeah, not a function that I'm super into, but let me know if I'm missing something. Comment below. Well, what am I missing about these compression straps? And if you're gonna say it helps the water bottle, I know that. So these external water bottle holders, they're great. Got a elasticy mesh right here. My 24-ounce Columbia fits very nicely. 1 liter Yeti as well. Very nice. And then what you can do, I know guys, is that this compression strap can act as sort of an anchor to help steady your water bottle. All right, I get it. It is incredibly effective for that. But don't tell me that you like to actually cinch down your bag. Come on, we're all adults here. We got the same water bottle pocket on both sides. These water bottle pockets, 4.5 out of 5. They just work so well. I mean, this bag fully packed out, and we're able to get 2 big old water bottles, one on either side, which makes sense. Osprey comes from hiking culture. Those are the original hydro homies. So when it comes to water bottle holders, Osprey definitely knows what they're doing. Got a few more handles to talk about. This one on the side is kind of on the back, but again, this is just an extra point of leverage. You're not gonna really carry this in briefcase mode, at least not for too often, right? But it's great if you just wanna put the bag down, you gotta pick it up real fast. And the top handle is really well designed. Nicely padded, great breathable mesh on the flip side, and plenty of space for your hands to go in and to grab the handle itself. Not gonna lie, Daylite 35, you're pretty cool so far. One final note, self-standing test. This is not a good self-standing bag. A few reasons why. 1, it's just not designed to be. And 2, the fabric is so light that it's just gonna collapse into itself, right? So unless you have like a really solid foundation built at the bottom of the bag, This is not a self-stander. 0 out of 5 on the self-standing scale. Now real fast, before we jump into the next section, I gotta tell you that if you're enjoying this review, you might be really into gear, or at least you're really into travel and maybe everyday carry. Well, if that's the case, you're welcome. We have found your people. Here at Nomads Nation, our mission is to help you find the best gear for your life on the move. And we do that by not only doing epic reviews on our YouTube channel, but we also do it through the Nomads Nation newsletter. And in that newsletter, I kind of take a 30,000-foot look out in this industry as a whole, and I deliver it to your inbox on a weekly basis. I'm talking newest drops, limited edition collabs, industry trends, plus exclusive access to our discount codes and giveaways from the smallest brands to the biggest brands and everything in between. So if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in this incredible industry of gear and travel and EDC, then be sure to look for this globe emoji in the description below. There you can sign up to the Nomads Nation newsletter and I hope to see you in your inbox. Okay, let's talk about the back of the Osprey Daylite 35 liter. Tech protection. Never one of Osprey's things they've been good at. Makes sense, right? They got the hiking backpack, I smoke the joint in the back of a pickup truck kind of vibes. Not like modern professional jet traveling across the world. So, you know, it makes sense. It's not their thing. They're trying though. They've been doing better with this. And let's kind of play with it. So I got my 13-inch MacBook Pro here. You can see slides right in. Very nice. It's a basic laptop compartment. There's no additional protection really on either side, minus, you know, what you have on the back panel here. Let's test the false bottom. Ooh, this is nice, Osprey. So this is where the bottom of the laptop compartment is, which means there's a false bottom underneath it, which means if you drop your laptop, no noise, no thunk, thud, whatever word goes there. You can't hear it, right? That's because there's actually really impressive protection here. Great false bottom, pretty good laptop protection overall, actually. You can check a 16-inch MacBook Pro, 3D cutout, also fits. Will the 17-inch though? Got the Asus VivoBook. Ooh, we are absolutely, just barely, but absolutely squeezing that in there. So if you're looking for a bag that can handle a 17-inch laptop, pretty great option. Let's talk about comfort and the back panel as a whole, because it actually does something very cool where you can unclip the shoulder straps from the bottom. It's tedious and actually very annoying to do. It takes a few seconds to really get it, but once you do, it allows you, come on. It's good that it's a little difficult because it means it's less likely to break, right? You don't want these straps and these buckle just to, you know, the bed on you. What this allows you to do though is you can take the straps. When you finally get them unbuckled, you can then stow them underneath this panel right here. And this, although a little tight, it still works though. This allows you to do something that I actually kind of like, which is you're in line, waiting to get on your plane. You know you're gonna throw the bag overhead, and instead of having these straps just, you know, like doing this and attaching to everything and hitting little old ladies in the face and getting it doesn't have to happen. There's a cleaner way. And then even if you can squeeze the bag underneath the seat in front of you, it doesn't matter. It's just a very seamless, dangle-free experience. And it rocks, and it's very clean. And Osprey did a fantastic implementation of this, I'm not gonna lie. This bag is great. It's not always that smooth and it's not always that clean. Cue like the Nomadic Travel Pack, right? Their system, you have like the 2 shoulder straps that are still like peeking out the top. You can never actually get them in all the way. It's still functional, but it's not as clean as this. This is clean. And I just wanna say, guys, like this is a masterclass, I think, in a product that is very focused. This bag's like, yo, I'm gonna do like 6 things, like 2 or 3 things excellent, couple other things on top of it, and that's it. Because what this bag is doing is just showing impressive focus because it is kind of crushing it for me, I'm not gonna lie. Shoulder straps, we've got a little bit of breathableness on the mesh right there. You can see that ventilation, it goes right through. A couple lash points to hang things on. And yeah, I mean, comfort, we're gonna give the score in just a minute, but it's really hard to beat Osprey on comfort, minus one thing. So their back panel is basically the gold standard. They use what they refer to as their AirScape technology, which is basically a mesh on the outside with all this 3D padding on the inside, and you can see all the holes, all the AirScape options and unlimited possibilities for just wind to grace your back with its refreshing presence. And Osprey bags do this better than most. At the end of the day, like if you're a sweaty back person, there's only so much a backpack can do. It's never gonna be a perfect solution. It's never gonna solve your back sweat problem. But it is in some rare cases going to be noticeably better. Osprey is one of those rare cases. So yeah, the comfort score is probably gonna be stupid good on this, except for two things. One, I could use a bit more depth on the shoulder strap padding. It's nice, it's just not amazing. We're over 1 cm, so I don't know why these don't feel like they're incredibly well padded, but I guess they kind of are. 1 cm, that's right around at least where you'd want it to be. Maybe they feel a little small because they're not as wide as I'd like. No, they're 2.5 inches. I'm perplexed. What about these shoulder straps? I don't know. I guess I just have to admit, it's just really comfortable. Osprey wins. You win this round, damn it, Osprey. But the thing I don't like about this bag, or any Osprey bag, is their obnoxious insistence to maintain the dangle. As to what I mean is, you can see we got nylon webbing right here, and it's just hanging loose, and you're like, oh, it'd be great just to like tuck it in with some easy like web holders. And no, Osprey doesn't offer that, which means that when you're like trying to catch that plane, right, and you're jetting through the freaking airport, these things are just always flapping around all over the place. And the same thing with the sternum strap. Love that there's a sternum strap added. Love that we can start a band with the sternum strap, but there's nowhere to stow this extra dangle, and that's it. Not the end of the world, but it makes our dangle protester, No Dangle Dan, not a very happy camper. And it does take away from the comfort in my experience. Final note is luggage pass-through. If you want to pair the Daylite 35 with a suitcase, you've got this little panel right here, but it feels tight. But I think Osprey still knows what they're doing because the bottom is actually quite loose. So although it's very tight in terms of like the way that it's holding on here, the bottom is loose enough as to where it's really easy to get onto the handle. And although it is a little bit tight here, we're pulling on the back panel and the stitching. There's so much stitching here and reinforced fabric that you can just feel underneath that I'm not worried about it causing any problems. In fact, it's actually very well integrated because it just feels very, very secure on the suitcase. Okay, moving on, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Osprey Daylite 35. Pro number one is just gonna be how lightweight the bag is. 2 pounds at 35 liters, mind blown. Pro number two is gonna be the impressive comfort, especially when it comes to the extra ventilation given to you by the back panel. And pro number three is just gonna be the perfect execution of the travel features, including the luggage pass-through and the shoulder strap stowage. But no bag is perfect. Let's talk about the cons. Con number one, I do think the 2 front pockets are kind of lacking in front volume. This one in particular is gonna be just kind of a bitch to use when the bag is fully packed down. Con number two is gonna be the excess dangle. It just seems unnecessary to me, especially with one of the world's best bag makers. Like, they're aware that web holders exist. They know that these things exist. Why do they not use them? And con number three for me is just a personal preference for the aesthetic of Osprey bags. Just kind of like that dorky backpacker look that isn't really my cup of tea. So now we'll take the pros and the cons, put them together, and give you our overall scores. Score number one, for comfort, I give it like a 4.5 out of 5. Load lifters would have been great. I do admit, like, just to pull the bag a little bit closer so you're getting a bit more of this as opposed to that. But the straps are well padded, they're well ventilated, the back panel feels great. Bit of dangle going on. I'm gonna take it down half a point actually, 4 out of 5, final answer. For value, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. You're getting so much function out of a bag that's half or a third of the price of some of its competitors. This is not just isolated to this bag either. Like, when it comes to Osprey, value is just the name of the game. They're so good at lowering prices and giving so much for that price. They could charge $250 for this bag, no problem, and people would buy it. $120 is crazy. $130. And for my overall score, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. A couple of quirks like the dangle situation and an aesthetic that won't be for everyone. Plus, I think load lifters would have been a really nice addition there. But more or less, this is basically travel perfection. Assuming that you like to travel lighter weight and you're not looking for like a modern businessy kind of aesthetic, a bag like the Daylite 35 is gonna be just so hard to beat. And if you're still watching this, there's a good chance that you might agree with my synopsis. Should be noted though, these scores are personal, just from my experience of using this bag and comparing it to other bags that I've tested. But there's a good chance that if you're still here, you might agree with my score. 4.5, 5, like this range, this bag is like, it's brilliant. And if that's the case, again, you might be thinking about making a purchase. And just a reminder, if you're thinking about doing that, we do suggest doing so with the first link in the description, just because that link is where you get the best price. And if we have any discount codes, that's where you'll find them. But if you're not quite sold on the Daylite 35, you wanna test the waters, see what else is on the market, let's talk alternatives. First up, if you're new to the channel, you should definitely check out our leaderboard rankings. This is just a great way to kind of get an idea of what the best options are on the market. As myself and the rest of the Nomads Nation squad, we get together and pick our favorite bags in different bag categories. I've gone ahead and linked that above. Also, if you aren't aware, here at Nomads Nation, we also started our own gear brand. We reviewed so many bags, I wanted to give it a shot myself, and we've been building some game-changing slings, EDC bags, and travel packs, and building an extremely passionate community of our own. You can learn more about Firo with the second link in the description or going to firo.co. But if we're close with the Daylite, let's talk specific alternatives that might get you just a little bit closer to what you want. My first alternative recommendation will be the Bagsmart Blast backpack. It's a great pick for you if you're looking for a simple bag that's ideal for travel, light, great on the travel features, but you're looking for an even better deal. The Bagsmart Blast is not as good as the Osprey Daylite, but it's also not like too far behind, and it's like 50 bucks cheaper. I think it's 70 or 80 USD. And my second alternative recommendation will be the TomTalk T67. Great pick for you if, again, you're on a bit of a budget. TomTalk's like 100, 110, but it's got a bit more of a, I'd say like modern, urban look to it. It's definitely like got a meanness with its aesthetic, and it actually looks great and also is sort of mind-blowingly awesome with its value proposition, given the price point. Honestly, all three bags are great. They're all coming in at very low price points, especially when you're taking into consideration the value you're getting. So if you're not sold on the Osprey and you want to check out the other two, you can go ahead and watch these videos right here. If you got any questions, be sure to let us know in the comments below or in the Nomads Nation subreddit. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.